Now back to the talk about the high frequency wave um, radio towers or radio waves. They now they usually have to go because I believe that they can use a satellite, right? That we've already been through. But I believe also as well that if there is a capability of there being a tower nearby or something that they can use that they can broadcast their high frequency um, audio wave from, they can use that. Some people, these fake cell phone towers that people are putting up in their backyards, that supposedly is something that they are able to use to broadcast these audio waves, as well as I think one of the places that would be best to use because of the reachability would be a radio station. Radio stations are probably, they're broadcasting frequency is going all day long, right? And I'm sure that they can do multiple broadcasts. And I'm sure if they raise the hertz, the frequency level of the broadcast, it is inaudible. So I'm sure that you can broadcast from a radio station as well. Just a thought. Now, let me see here. There's satellites. The satellites nowadays too have video capabilities, and I do believe that they're able to um, pinpoint you. It's you know years ago and not that long ago, there would only be so many satellites either in an equatorial orbit or in a geosynchronous orbit, which is off latitude, longitude in the western, usually in the northern western hemispheres. They usually kind of travel in those directions instead of equatorial around the globe. So it you get before you when you looked on the computer and you did any kind of research with the satellites, you would see that there would be a delay in the satellite, and a lot of people who transmit television broadcasts from satellite, especially from overseas, you'll notice in a slight delay in the voice. You'll see the news people standing there and they ask a quick question, and there's a second or two of delay, and then they respond. Well, it's the same thing with the satellites, and especially with viewing. If they're looking down on you and they're not, if the satellites aren't in a perfect succession of satellites and they're spread out more, then there's a delay in the video, and that's why with some satellites you're not able to pinpoint your target and stay with your target in real time, right? Now the geosynchronous satellites, um, they're like I said, traveling the northern and southern hemispheres, but they're also traveling in succession. So sometimes there could be up to over 1,000 satellites traveling one behind another, literally 1,000. Okay, circling the globe on the same orbit, which means on the same trajectory, on the same longitude latitude line, and they're right in behind each other. Now, this would allow you to view your subject in real time because there's no delay in the video. So you can literally watch your subject leave the house, get into the car, go down the street, go to work, get out of the car. You know, you can view them come out at lunchtime, sit at the curb, have a cigarette, whatever. But what happens is, if they're viewing you from satellite, and we do know this because I've seen it, we've all seen it on YouTube or Facebook. Sorry, I know there was a video on Facebook where there was a guy laying in the middle of the stadium, like literally laying in the middle of a football stadium in the middle of a city with the dome open. Okay, he's laying on the grass in the middle of the stadium with a blade of grass or something on his chest, and it starts off with a close-up shot of that, but then it pulls up into the sky, 5,000 feet, 6,000, 10,000, 12,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and you see it goes right up to satellite view to how high the satellite is, and you're like, oh my god, like that's fucking nuts, right? Because then they zoom down from satellite, all the way back into the blade of grass on the guy's chest. Like a blade of grass, like literally a blade of grass on his chest. So this satellite has just showed you its capability. It showed you its pinpoint capability. That it could literally see if your purse was open next to you in the stadium. If your purse was open next to you in the stadium, and you had a pack of fucking cigarettes in there and a handgun, they could look down from a satellite, pinpoint where you are, literally look into your purse, and see a handgun sitting next to you in your fucking purse. If they can see a blade of grass on your chest, zoom in, zoom out, they could do the same thing surveying anybody in a stadium. During a football game, they could be going from person to person to person to person to person within the stadium, looking in their pockets, looking in their purses. Literally, that's capability. That is technology that is real. It is here. It is now. Now, add the audio bombardment to it. Now you have a satellite with video capability, but you also have a satellite with EMF broadcasting capability. We all know about subsonic weapons, right? The military and the police are using subsonic weapons as we speak for crowd dispersal, for protesting, when the protested riots, they go to crowd dispersal, that kind of thing. They use them overseas, and literally they are high frequency or low frequency weapons. High frequency weapons, they say, will burn your skin. They give you that burning sensation in your skin. Like you're actually on fire. Boom, and you gotta run. You literally have to run because you feel that you're on fire, you know what I mean? And then the lower subsonic weapons have such a pulse, think of a bass now, the bass on a, your subwoofer. Now think of somebody, if they did that at such a low decibel, think of a whale. A whale is like, they can hear it across the fucking ocean, right? Literally 4,000 miles away, a whale can be heard from 4,000 miles away. That's how low the decibel of shake to his voice is, right? To his song is. So you imagine now, if they can hear that 4,000 miles away, all they need to do, a low frequency subsonic weapon will liquefy your insides. Because what happens is it's like the percussion from a blast. You have an explosion, then you have a percussion that comes, you know what I mean? The percussion becomes behind you. Whew, and it's usually the percussion of the blast that does all the damage, right? It will literally destroy your insides. You die of internal bleeding. Well, these subsonic weapons are the same as that. What's happening is you're getting a bang, bang, bang. So they hit you with this low frequency, and you're literally feeling like you're getting punched by a million fists, fucking so fast, like, you know what I mean? And it's excruciatingly fucking painful, they say, right? But it's real. It's absolutely real. Okay? Now this stuff, so if you're able to do that, standing on the side of say a squat fucking car or a squat tank vehicle and point it at a crowd and do that, you can point it from satellite and do the same fucking thing. Right? Come on. Right? Exactly. So what they can do is, with this stuff, is it's like the same thing. They can make footprints, foot sounds, like make it sound like somebody's actually walking behind you. Because the audio wave hits the pavement, and you can hear footsteps in behind you. You turn around, there's nobody there. You're like, what the fuck, man? I could swear I just heard somebody walking behind me. But no, it's the satellite pumping a wave down at you. They have spotted you. They know you're there. And that sound wave now has bounced off the ground, because sound wave, it would need to bounce off of something, because sound waves are absorbed, right? Sound waves absorb. We all know about acoustics. We all know about amphitheaters. And what goes on in an amphitheater, the acoustic sounds in an amphitheater are fucking beautiful, right? Well, it's all because of the acoustics, how the sound bounces off of things. and how you hear it, right? It's extremely complex. Sound is extremely complex. And if it's bounced off things, certain objects, because certain objects absorb sound differently. That's why when you go to record in a recording studio, okay, they have one room you walk in, they shut the door, and it's like, oh my God, the sound is completely different, right? Some rooms in studios absorb all the sound. When you go in there and shut the door, it's like, oh, fucking, this is weird, man. Because there's no reverberation in your voice. You go in the room and the walls absorb the sound. As soon as you speak, that sound wave goes into the wall and you don't hear any reverberation. You go outside that room and do the same thing and your ear sounds totally different. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it sounds like that in there. It's dead. The sound is dead. Right? So that's just proof that sound is very complex, and depending on what is around, depending on what it's aimed at, and what it absorbs into, what it doesn't absorb to, what it will reflect off of, what it sounds when it reflects off it. Because when you reflect sound off wood, when you reflect sound off metal, when you reflect sound off of cement, when you reflect sound off of of anything, it's going to be different. It's going to have a different resonance. Okay? So, the capability of sound is phenomenal. Alright? I've been walking down the street at night, and one night I heard somebody yell from a friend of mine's driveway, and it was like they were standing right there, and I mean, and I turned around and there was nobody there, man. And I'm going, well, okay, this is fucking wild, man. Like, whoever's doing this, I'm looking up at the sky going, what the fuck, like this is nuts, right? Because I'm not crazy. I know my body, I know my mind. I'm a very centered person, and I've never had experience like this before in my life. But you know what? I'm also smart enough to know that technology can do this. Right? Exactly. Because I'm walking down the road, and I can hear sound coming from this house over here, yelling at me as I'm walking out. As I'm way down the road, somebody from, it sounds like back here in this house, is yelling at me. Hey, and then this house way the fuck over here on this side of the street yelling at me. Blah, 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 blah. And then the one right next to me, and the voice is dominant here, like, and it's like as I'm going, the voice is more dominant. Like as I'm beside it, it sounds like it's there. If I'm a block away, it sounds like it's coming from a block away. It literally in timing with me. So with a satellite, if they're able to plan your course, if you're a predictable person, you go to work every day, you come home the same route. You go for walks, you walk the same route. You go here, you go around the pond. You walk around the pond in the afternoon with the dog, you go home, you walk the same streets all the time, even if you don't. But if they learn your routine and they can plan ahead of you, then what they can do is they can see objects ahead of you. They can plan where they want that sound to bounce off of, right? So think of it like a video game. They can move the target, like say the sound wants to bounce here, click. They can pre-plan. Sound here, click. Sound here, click, and mark it like on like with your mouse. Click here, mark. Okay, I want the sound to bounce off this. I want the sound. He's going to walk up here, or the sound to bounce off this, off this, off this, off this, because this is the route he's taking, right? Right though. And then what happens is, as I'm walking that route, whatever they're broadcasting is broadcast right at that object at the time that I'm right next to it. And then it bounces off of it and I hear it. Boom, 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 right? Because now, remember audio, your auditory canal, you hear, sound needs to go into your fucking head in order for it to be heard. Right? And now think of when you're riding a bike. Okay, you're riding a bike down the highway. The wind in your ears when you're riding and your face is face straight. Okay? The wind's going by and it's both the same. Turn your head. what happens? Sound changes. One ear is being bombarded by air. The other ear can now hear everything around you because it doesn't have the air passing by it or going into it that it did like this. Same way with the other way. Turn your head this way. Now this ear hears everything on this side of you. All of a sudden your sound opens up. Everything opens up. And this ear here is bombarded by air. You turn your head back straight again, and both of them are. Sound changes completely, right? Well, that's why sound, I think, has to bounce off objects. When they're sending it down from satellite, it'll bounce off a car. It shoots towards you now. The sound wave bounces, whoo, comes at you. Depending on which direction your head is turned, that sound's going to go into your ear. So that's going to determine how far away the sound sounds. You know what I mean? Whether the sound is going to be a dominant sound, whether the sound is going to be a far away sound, whether it's going to be a, you know what I mean? It determines, you know, how that sound is going to be computed by your ears. And that no matter where your head is, if I turn my head slightly and I miss that audio, then my ear misses it completely. And I don't hear it, right? It's like the projection speakers that you're seeing now. You can watch them, they have them on YouTube. And there's an example of one where this couple is in a library. Their library is dead silent. It's a big library. You know how quiet libraries are and how finicky librarians are about keeping them fucking quiet, right? So they're in a library. Okay, and it's full of people. There's people in the library. And these two people are waltzing in the middle of the library. Da, 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 da. And but the guy up on top of the balcony is facing this instrument down at them. Okay, it has a microphone on it and it's a big speaker. Okay, but it's silent. It's silent. You think you can't hear nothing out of it. Okay, but he turns on the little audio tape he has and puts his microphone to it, and faces the little speaker towards the dancers, and all of a sudden the room lights up for them. It's like they're in the middle of a ballroom. Okay, they're in the middle of a ballroom, dancing to this full sound of the waltz that they're dancing to. Da, da, da. Yet nobody else in the library, no one, even the people right next to them at the tables right next to them, hears a fucking thing. Nothing. Only they do. And they hear it like they're in an auditorium. Literally, in an auditorium. Okay? It is crazy, crazy stuff. I know it sounds nuts. But listen, if we can send fucking spaceships up into space, okay? If we can build the Mars rover with the arm and send a fucking robot to Mars, the Canadians were responsible for building the arm on the, you know what I'm saying? Come on, guys. It's time we admit that this kind of shit is real. Right? Exactly. So, I lost myself. That's okay though. That's all right. After 3 years, you know, well, I've been at this for 3 years now, right? I've been going for like 3 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even in my fucking sleep, man. Like even in my sleep. I wake up, you know, I wake up, I'm laying in bed, my eyes are closed, while I'm laying in bed, and I can hear them conversing. I can literally, it's like they're sitting at a card table, playing cards, conversing, and then as soon as they see me stir, they're on me. Hey, well, what are you doing, man? Sit down, man. We don't want you to go nowhere. Hey, sit down. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but it's the minute you fucking get up, right? So you wander to the bathroom, you try to ignore it, you take a piss, you go back to bed, you try your hardest to fall asleep, you get to sleep. 15 minutes later, you wake up in your head again, your eyes haven't opened, you haven't stirred, but you can hear them conversing. And so they're waking you the fuck up. It's them conversing that's waking you up. You stir, and then they're bombarding you the minute you're fucking moving, right? So it's like my brain has been fried, literally fried by this shit, man. It's been 3 fucking years. So if I forget something, man, and I draw a blank, and I forget something, I fucking apologize. I really do, because what these fucking people do is they laugh at you like they're doing, like right now. I know you can't hear it, but they're laughing at me right now, like as if you can't remember, man. Looking back at, but you know what? It's like you've been torturing me every fucking day for 3 years, man. So excuse me if I'm a little forgetful. But the bombardment that they hit you with, they can target you wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're walking down the fucking road, if you're going the bush fishing. It does not matter where you are. I think if you have a microchip in you, you're GPSable, right? But don't forget, you know what it is now is that I think they're stealing your experience is what they're doing, which is even worse, right? Right? Because like a lab rat, you know how lab rats, when you see a lab rat in a fucking cage, you see the lab rat's skull literally taken off, and there's long wires from the top of the cage into the rat's brain, and the rat's still running around inside the cage, literally. The rat's running around inside the cage, running around inside the cage, doing whatever the fuck they want the rat to do, but his skull's off completely, and there's wires in the fucking rat's skull. Right, though, right, fucking right. Well, this shit is like that, but reverse. Think of it. Think of it. Instead of this way, it's this way, but it's inside your nasal cavity, way up here. You want to know why? Because all the access to everything they need to access is right there. Your visual cortex, your auditory, your sensory, your memory, everything is right fucking there. And like a drug addict, when you do cocaine, what does it do? What do you do? When you do cocaine, you sniff a line of cocaine, you're high instantly, right? Why are you high instantly? Because the soft membrane, right at the back of your nasal cavity, your brain sits right on top of that soft membrane. And when cocaine hits that soft membrane, it's so thin. And it's so thin that the cocaine absorbs into that membrane instantly. And instantly into your brain. Like, it's that fast. Boom, boom. And you're high instantaneously. Because it transfers through that soft membrane that fast. Boom, 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 boom. Because have you ever sniffed a line of coke? You know it's instant. So it's penetrating the soft membrane and absorbing into your brain, boom, like that. So that's how thin that soft membrane is. Now, microchip, what they do is they take it and they reverse it. They go into your nasal cavity, either through your mouth or through your nose, into your large nasal cavity where that soft membrane is, and they take wires, those little wires that you see this way on the rat, go this way in the human, and they put it into your visual, your auditory, your sensory, your memory, and boom, they're plugged in. Literally. And look at your eye. Your eye is like a camera. You have an optical nerve, you have a lens, you have an iris, right? You have an aperture, which is your pupil, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's exactly the same as a camera. So why can't other people look through them too? You see what I'm saying? So these people are microchipping people. And you know who these people are. They're microchipping people, and then they're watching everything you do. Literally. Literally everything that you do. If you are, well, think of the fucking implications of that. Right? If you're at work in the showers, they're seeing it all. If you're at home in bed with your wife or your husband or whatever, they're seeing it all. If you're bathing your fucking children, they're like pigs watching it all. If you're at work, a healthcare aide, changing the diaper of an elderly person that is at work, they're watching it all. But not with good intentions. Right? This isn't about accountability. It is not about justice. It is not about intercepting surveillance and using it to, it's not so fucking supposed to be. Right? They are using this tool as a tool for complete control and domination. That's what they're doing. Okay? Complete control and domination. And with the microchip, they have it all. They have interior audio hallucinations or auditory hallucinations. They have exterior auditory hallucinations. They've got the beeping, the hissing, the buzzing. Right? They can induce anxiety, stress, fear. Have you ever been somewhere and then all of a sudden you feel afraid for no reason? Or have you ever went into a place where you feel anxiety, where you've never felt anxiety before? Don't forget too, these high frequency generators that are beamed down at you, if you are a target or anyone around you is a target, keep an eye out too for illnesses that are not normal. If you have sleeping disorders, sleep disorders, depression, anxiety, again, stress that's unrelated, rashes on your skin that you normally do not have, right? Like rashes on your skin that you normally do not have, that just plague you. They may be directing high frequency waves at you, and that's what's causing it. Because those are, and there are many, there is a list of things, of ailments, this fucking long, that this high frequency audio can do to you. Because they don't only bombard you with sounds and with all of this kind of stuff, but it's the microwave radiation that they're able to broadcast as well, which can do a lot of damage to your body, right? It can kill your cells. It causes all kinds. Cancer, you fucking name it. It does it. And they're doing it. And they're doing it. Okay. It's just crazy. It is crazy shit. But I know this is real. This is happening right now, right here, right now, here in this home, in this home, right now, right here. And what they try to do too is if they're fucking with you really bad. See, this is what they've been doing with me. Is they are trying to raise my stress level. They raise your stress, your anxiety level, literally to a fucking breaking point. Your heart's like you're like running around because they're bombarding you, right? And you're running around sweating like a motherfucker, trying to deal with the bombardment, which is fucking believably insane. Then it raises your heart level, it raises your stress level, your anxiety level up to here, and they maintain that. The fuckers maintain that. They work hard to go out of the way to maintain that stress level for days. I've been through weeks and weeks of stress up to here, anxiety up to here that never stops. Never stops. Really, man? Fucking really? But you know what it does, right? Is a person who goes into a nervous breakdown, their physiology changes completely, right? Well, if you expose somebody to torture for any length of time, psychological fucking torture, for any length of time, over a long period of time, a long duration of time, it releases stress hormones into your body that are not supposed to be engaged into your system all the time. Your fight or flight hormones are very fast, sporadic, gone. Adrenaline up, gone, right? These people bring it up and they maintain it at a level that is fucking constant for days, weeks, fucking weeks. Those hormones break down your system like there's no fucking tomorrow, right? So what they try to do is force you into physiological breakdown. Now, when you have a nervous breakdown, your body changes, everything changes. Some people who go into nervous breakdown are literally, they come out of it, their physical appearance has changed completely. That's how much it affects your physiology. Okay? And they've been trying to break me now for almost 3 fucking years. But only for one reason. Right? Only for one reason. Yeah, I know, because of the backstabbing thing. Like I said, they should have just fucking killed me there, man. Because I walked away, and they decided to try to kill me anyway. And it's been continuous. It's been fucking continuous, man. Like I'm from around here. Like I have just as much ownership. My family's been here forever. I have just as much ownership to this place as anybody else. But you know what they keep saying to me? Fag, you're a fag. You don't deserve nothing, man. You're a fag. You don't deserve fuck all, man. You ain't gonna get nothing, man. You ain't gonna get nothing. As a matter of fact, I'd be walking down the fucking street, and they say, you see that house right there, Raymond? You see that house? You like that house, eh? You'll never own a house like that. You're never gonna have a fucking house like that, Raymond. You're never gonna have a house like that. I mean, well, why the fuck am I hearing this, man? Why am I hearing this? Right? Why am I hearing this? But you know what? They've been trying really hard to destroy my physiology because of what I know. And because of my branding, right? Remember, I was branded, in the machine, out the machine, right? Branded. Okay, well, that branding, that machine I went through, okay, I went through that machine even quicker than the machine puts fucking normal things through that machine. You know what I'm saying? I was just like basically I was catapulted on a rocket right through the fucking machine. Poof! And I come out branded on the other end, and you see, I'm aware of that. I know that, right? And I was branded for a reason, and it's because of that stabbing. And well, they should have just done it. They should have got it over and done with, because my life has been hell ever fucking since, and they haven't let up one bit. And the people that are supposed to fucking help me with this have done nothing to fuck. As a matter of fact, they're the ones doing it for me. They're the ones doing it. They're the ones doing it. And then the people I need to be in complaint to about the people who are, they're the same fucking people. And then the bigger people I call them and they go, sorry, we can't do anything for you. We depend on these guys. Click. Right? Because what is a guy to do? What is a guy, especially a minority? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? I know that I might not talk like a queer. I might not talk like a fag, but I am a fucking fag. All right? You okay? All right? But and just because I live in Northern Ontario, don't mean jack shit. Don't mean jack shit. But that branding, man, fuck, that hurt, that burned. Because that branding prevented me. That branding took my rights away as a human being. It stripped me of my rights as a human being. It said, you are no longer a human being. You don't matter. Yeah. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Do you know how long it took me to go through that machine? You know? I say they fired me through on a cannon, but that's a little fucking unrealistic, right? But you know how long it took me to go through that machine, guys? 8 minutes. In 8 minutes, I come out of the other end of that machine with 2 brandings, bang, 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 that affected me for the rest of my life, but it also prevented me. They fucking set me up, man. Don't forget, I was stabbed in the back, in the dark. In the back, in the dark. But now my branding, that branding says that everything behind me that happened didn't actually happen now, Raymond. It's all in your head, Raymond. It's all in your head, Raymond. Everything that happened behind you, all that stabbing in the back that you know happened, because you know these guys. You grew up with some of these guys, and you know that some of them would rather see you fucking dead just because you're different. Just because you're fucking different. They literally, the way they branded me, boom, boom. In short, that everything that happened behind me no longer existed. Whew, it was gone. But it also, in short, that I couldn't talk about or pursue any complaint at all. Even with the people that fucking targeted me. And their friends, the other friends, I couldn't even talk about them. The first time I mentioned it to anyone. As a matter of fact, I can't go anywhere in my community, not nowhere. I can't go to any of the people I'm supposed to trust to talk to them about this, because as soon as I do, clink, 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 and gone. So you know what? Not only did you stab me in the back and kill me, which you should have just done, right? Because it would have been easier on me. But you put me through this machine, branded me, boom, 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 and now I'm no longer a human being now. I'm no longer a human being today. To these guys, I don't exist. My opinion doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, when I complain about the people that I want to complain, when I want to complain about the people I need to complain about, and I approach those people, they actually call and communicate with the people I'm complaining about first. And I know why now, because they're both the same. They're all the same, you see? The people I'm complaining about are the same. The people that I'm complaining to are the same people I'm complaining about. So you know what they do? Now that I've got this little brand, boom, 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 boom. Now my complaint, even though I know I'm being tortured, they call each other. They just go, hi. Oh yeah, yes, we got it today. File number 567. Yeah. Oh, he's got what? He's got. Oh fuck. Okay. Oh, he's going a little loopy, isn't he? Ha 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 ha. Again. This is the 4th time this month. No shit. Really? He must be really bad if that's the case. My goodness, he does, eh? He walks around town talking to himself all fucking day, does he? Son of a bitch, what's going on with Kirkland Lake up there? Ha 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 ha. All right, we'll talk to you next week. I'm sure he'll be sending another one soon. Bye-bye. Right? And then, holy fuck. And then the people that I'm supposed to trust find out that I did that, and boom, I'm gone again. Disappear again for another length of fucking time. Disappear again for another length of time. Like, what the fuck, man? You have chapped me in this perpetual fucking wheel of bullshit. I can't even talk about what's going on with me, because if I do, I'm fucked, right? Well, I'm tired of it now. You see, now I'm tired of it because I know that you're hurting little girls who are disabled, who cannot even defend themselves. I know that you are hurting the elderly people in this community. And I know that you are responsible for multiple deaths in this community. I know that. So I have to do this. I have no choice. I have no choice. Right? To be fucking continued. Thank you.